to begin. I'm Master Lukey. I'm an ex-UFC fighter. Life Food certified health coach. And nightly news broadcaster. Hey Londos, welcome. You're gonna like the end, the last story tonight. It's about pro wrestling. The first story more my area of interest. The Supreme Court sharply curtails the authority of the EPA to regulate greenhouse gas emissions that cause climate change. In a 6-3 ruling, the court sides with conservative states and fossil fuel companies in adopting a narrow reading of the Clean Air Act. Wow. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. I'm going to Google search the Clean Air Act. Here we go. This is from Forbes. Actually, Forbes might ask for money. Let's see if I can read this. Oh man, this is a long article. 24 minutes. Okay. The hell? Ah, I knew it. Fuck Forbes. New York Times. Let's see Market Watch. Supreme Court limits EPA's role in combating climate change in a fresh jab at the 50-year-old Clean Air Act. Ugh. President Biden's climate change plan hit a major hurdle as the Supreme Court of the United States ruled to restrict federal reach in controlling emissions at power plants. Energy industry welcomes greater flexibility. Look at that fucking eyesore. Holy. It's the legacy we leave, eh? Okay. President Joe Biden plan to address. See, I don't like the word climate change. Let's call it industrial pollution. How about that? Hit a major hurdle as the Supreme Court ruled to restrict federal reach in controlling emissions at power plants and beyond. Wow. The court, whose conservative majority has already shown reluctance in broadening... Let's read this. The court, whose paid-off judges already satisfied their backdoor contracts with the industry. That's what I could translate that as. Considered the Environmental Protection Agency's authority to regulate greenhouse gas emissions from existing coal and gas-fired power plants under the landmark Clean Air Act. But the impact is much wider. The court sides with mostly conservative energy-producing states and fossil fuel companies in adopting a narrow reading of the Clean Air Act. The decision prevents the EPA from enforcing climate-friendly, industry-wide changes, limiting it to actions targeting individual plants. The majority opinion was written by Justice John Roberts. Climate is literally the tip of the iceberg. The ruling attacks the very foundation of modern regulation, said Stephen Cohen. In the face of today's complex technological world, conservative state attorneys and general and white-ring jurists are demanding a degree of legislative specificity that's impossible for non-experts to articulate, he said. Our elected leaders and judges are not chemists or toxicologists. They tend to be lawyers. When they write environmental laws, they leave important details to the experts and regulatory agencies. The ruling comes months after the United Nations issued alarming reports on pollution and collapse. The latest suggests that the most vulnerable nations are already behind in adapting to environmental pressure and intensifying natural disasters. Some observers consider this setback a blow for Biden's administration. He set a goal of decarbonizing the U.S. power sector by 2035, and he wants the U.S. economy as a whole to flip to net zero by 2050. U.S. emissions targets are largely in line with what's been set by the rest of the major global economies, save for China, which says it can hit net zero by 2060. That's a fucking long ways away, man. It's like the check is in the mail. I'm just the Supreme Court's decision doesn't mean the end of the climate agenda. It's just a review of strategy, said Kevin Manoli, former senior official in the EPA's Office of General Counsel, and now a partner with Alston and Byrd. The Biden administration focused on rules that limit power plant emissions of other pollutants. EPA's expectation is that controls put in place for those other pollutants will also reduce a portion of a power plant's carbon dioxide emissions. If EPA is right, that could significantly blunt the impact of today's decision. The EPA could still use its authority to set stringent standards based on pollution control technologies, including carbon scrubbers and gas hydrogen co-firing, as well as heat rate improvements. Well, I do natural medicine. The answer to industrial pollution is not more technology. If you watch a movie called Kiss the Ground, the most powerful thing you can do for carbon sequestration is rebuild the soil. The bacteria in the soil is what sequesters the carbon. The answer is not more technology. The answer is more nature. But apparently there's more money in more technology. I wonder how long it's going to be before we finally actually turn the corner. You know, they say it's darkest before the dawn. I'm ready for the sun to shine. What can one person do? You vote with your dollars. Purchase menu items from my ingredients list. Message me for recipe ideas. And know that you're doing your part for a sustainable future. Don't think that Joe Biden's climate change regulations are going to save the world. That's silly. The Supreme Court allows the Biden administration to terminate the controversial Trump-era asylum policy known as Remain in Mexico. Red states argued that Biden was obliged to keep the policy, but the Supreme Court of the United States says 5-4, we can end it. You go to Fox News. $2.26 is watching. The fuck? That's not what I was looking for. The Supreme Court ruled that the administration can repeal the migrant protection protocols, commonly known as Remain in Mexico. Under that policy, migrants seeking entry had to stay in Mexico as they awaited hearings. The Trump administration put the policy in place so that migrants would not be released into the U.S. The Biden administration had tried to repeal the policy but was previously blocked by a lower court. At issue was whether the Department of Homeland Security suspension and subsequent termination of the policy violated a federal law that requires that migrants be detained or if they arrive from a contiguous country sent back. Someone applying for admission shall be detained for a proceeding unless they're clearly and beyond a doubt entitled to be admitted. It also says that they're from a contiguous territory like Mexico. The Attorney General may return the alien to that territory as they await a hearing. Texas and Missouri had pointed to this in arguing that the Remain in Mexico policy was necessary to adhere to this law without the ability to detain everyone. The states argued in their lawsuit, sending them back when possible is necessary. Well, if they're coming in legally, what's the difference? They're trying to escape where they are to come to America to a better life. What are they afraid that they're gonna cross the border and then disappear and not do the whole thing? I think if they were gonna do that, they wouldn't have applied for citizenship to begin with. Oh. Man, I'm sorry. It's just, it's late. I don't know what to tell you. What do you want me to do? Get hyped up and then not be able to fall asleep? I just came from the gym. I worked my heart out. I'm ready for bed. And the last part, it says, due to the huge numbers of aliens who attempt to enter illegally, the Department of Homeland Security does not have the capacity to detain all inadmissible aliens encountered at the border, and no one suggests that they must do the impossible. But rather than avail itself of Congress's clear statutory alternative to return admissible aliens to Mexico while they await proceedings in this country, the Department of Homeland Security has concluded that it may forego that option altogether and instead simply release into this country untold number of aliens who are very likely to be removed if they show up for their removal hearings. The practice violates the clear terms of the law, but the court looks the other way. Well, I remember probably about 10 years ago, I got a download for neurolinguistic programming. And the first tape, so digital, the first lesson, the first thing they said after the intro, neurolinguistic programming, they sell you on the idea. Okay, you ready to listen? All right, here we go. Number one, the first rule. Everyone's doing the best they can. Isn't that amazing? Everybody is doing the best they can. everybody is trying to have a good life. Even when you have somebody who's not behaving properly, there is some type of reward mechanism, a coping mechanism, whatever you want to call it. There's a reason why. Nobody wants to be evil. If somebody has messed up thinking and behavior, there's a reason for that. It's some type of safety mechanism having to do with, you know, what happened to them when they were younger, some type of trauma reenactment, or it could also be chemical. So the teaching is body, then mind. And, you know, I see it and I believe it, that people are basically controlled by their system. You know, when I teach kids in class and they're hyper, you know, I know why. Because they're on sugar. They're on grains. The brains aren't working right. Anyway, it's the idea of the word native means born pure, and that everybody is somebody's child, and at somewhere inside them there is still that untainted pure spirit. And I give people the benefit of the doubt. But you have to have discernment. That's something that I, lack. And I get taken advantage of. But I'm doing the best I can too. I haven't eaten for a few days. Pooped today a little bit. No energy though. Better than yesterday. I think because I got the poop out, I felt okay. Better. My energy was flowing. And then I had some orange juice and some apple juice. That's what I had so far. I'm really thirsty still, but maybe I'll just have some water before I go to bed. Anyway, let the Mexicans come in, man. They're just looking for a good life. Kinnan says, oh, hey, Rick. I didn't see you there. What's up, Rester Ricky? Kinnan says, maybe we're getting the rotten cops here. Well, the one thing I will say is that Mexicans eat some rotten fucking meat. And the Aztecs did human sacrifice. And I've seen a kid with a tattoo about human sacrifice. And, they do brujeria, santeria. They do blood rituals. It's not just the Mexicans. A lot of different cultures do that. And they kill each other. And, it's fucked up. So, bring them in, let them just kill everyone. Just everybody fucking kill each other. I don't care anymore. You're not gonna kill me though. Nobody's gonna kill me. In order to protect myself. Berlin closing its parks after dark. You're not gonna kill me! Do I think their sacrifices go back to Quetzalcoatl in the Aztec civilization? The actual human sacrifice started with the Atlanteans. Believe it or not, it was the bull. The cult of the bull was in the Atlantis times. And the beef blood does give you power. That's undeniable, that sacrificing a bull will give you power. But there's, the yin yang balance. There's something that you get with that's not good. And the Atlanteans, they killed each other, and God punished them with the Great Flood. And that's where all these cultures have still human sacrifice all over the world, because it came from Atlantis. And when the meteor hit and dispersed everyone, what was it, 15,000 years ago or something? 30,000 years ago? I don't know. I wasn't there, right? The priests who had ships, they had like these cone hats that had astrological markings on them, and they knew how to sail or something. I don't know the full story, but yeah, Quetzalcoatl was a what was it? A snake. A snake and a bird, I think. A dragon. Rick says 80 something, 8,000 BC, 8,500 BC. Yeah, bro, it's an ancient ritual, bro. That's when the meteor hit, but Atlantis was way older than that, so you're talking about Lemuria into Atlantis, and these people are in positions of power, at the very top of the pyramid. They're doing the blood rituals, and that's why they want to bring in immigrants, because they even have women who get pregnant on purpose, and then they deliver the baby right on an altar to be sacrificed. The whole thing is part of their religion. The sex, the the child sacrifice, the blood ritual. Rick says the cult of the bull introduced 50,000 years ago. There you go. Rick knows his stuff. I don't study too much, man. I study what I study, and I get the gist of it. Just like I'm reading these articles, man. Just get the gist of it. Berlin is worried about petty crime, brawls, and rowdiness in the parks. Well, people are drinking, probably. Fucking Germans, man. You think Irish are bad drunks? You think English are bad drunks? Germans will drink them under the table. Only people who could drink more than Germans is Polish. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Police already been called twice to clear the Central Park after two violent thefts were reported, and throngs of people assembled and risk getting out of control. As many Berliners continue their lockdown era habit of socializing, the city wants to get a firmer grip on the situation. There you go, I knew it. Banning park visitors from bringing alcohol in. If they can't do it, they're going to lock the whole thing down. Well, fucking make alcohol illegal, man. That's all you got to do. Fuck all these juice heads, too. YouTube star Logan Paul's returning to the WWE with a more permanent role. Bubba Joe says, are real plantains better than GMO bananas? Nah, they're starchy, bro. Plantains are starchy, man. My ex-girlfriend used to eat plantains and go crazy. She would literally go from here to overboard. Just like a fucking crackhead. So, excuse my language. If you like plantains so much, find kabocha squash. What are you doing with plantains? You frying them? How are you eating them? You frying them, right? Baking them? Baking them, frying them. What else do they do? Steaming? Steamed plantains? Get a kabocha squash, bro. Get a pumpkin. Get zucchini. Get yellow squash. Squash is the answer. Not plantains. Not potatoes. Not yams. The only yam that you can do is the wild yam, and you're not getting that anywhere. You can't buy that in your supermarket. I started martial arts in 1995. I was 15 years old. I was showing signs of depression, and my mom put me in front of the TV. Yeah, she was crazy, Londos, but what I'm saying is it triggered her because of the starch. It's not a natural sugar. It can't be broken down by the liver, and it spikes. That's why you see kids going crazy when they have sugar. Okay? Kids go crazy when they have sugar. It's not because the kid's crazy. Okay? You're dismissing somebody by calling them crazy. That's not healthy. You're fucking weak. You can't deal with somebody like Sir Doyle. You can't deal with somebody who's crazy. Okay? That's somebody's child that's been poisoned. They've been traumatized. And they're not crazy. They're injured. Their fucking body's injured from the whole world being fucked up. Their parents and their menu. Don't dismiss them like something's wrong with them. Something's wrong with the menu. Something's wrong with their upbringing. That's native. Native means you're born pure. You're God's child. I'm not crazy. People call me crazy. I'm not crazy. I've been traumatized, and I had a fucked up system from the menu that I was raised on. Yeah, you like Sir Doyle watching him on TV. You don't like being in the same room as Sir Doyle. Alright? You're a fake friend. You like frying plantain chips? Yeah, it's called Kabocha. And you can slice it and fry it. But fry it in coconut oil or palm oil. Don't fry it in olive oil. Don't fry it in any other type of vegetable oil, peanut oil, or grapeseed oil. That will fucking kill your brain. Okay? Yeah, kabocha's the one. It's definitely delicious and comparable, in texture, not just flavor, but also texture to the plantain. Okay? I started in a style of martial arts called Choi Lei Fat, which is a southern kung fu. The Qigong, which is the grandmaster. Okay, Sifu is master. Si Hing is black belt. Dai Si Hing is the top student under the Sifu. And the Sifu is under the Qigong. And the Qigong was Chan Tai San. Chan Tai San was a national treasure in China. Supposedly one of the 10 tigers. When England came into China with their guns, people were kung fu fighting. And he was a legendary warrior. Supposedly. There's no videotape, and the one film that they do have of kung fu masters fighting in black and white, it looks like slap fighting. It's pretty pathetic compared to today's standards. But supposedly he had an axe wound in his head, and a scar from an axe. And he also said the worst injury he ever had, the most painful hit he ever had, was from a female. I don't know if that was a metaphor. A female monk who hurt him and then healed him. Maybe it was a metaphor. He also said, don't do the head conditioning. It makes you crazy. So if you watch a movie called The Master Killer, Gordon Liu, they have all the different conditionings. How long did I do Kung Fu? From 15 to 19. I unfortunately got into some bad habits in high school. When I graduated, we got out a month early. Chaminade High School, which is a Catholic all-boys school that I went to for high school from 9th to 12th grade. They let the seniors out a month early. And we drank beers every day. Literally every day. And I had a partial scholarship to Pratt Institute, which is the second best art school in New York. But I continued to drink, and it kind of helped with my creativity a little bit. But I ended up suffering. I had moderate depression from grains and dairy growing up, but the alcohol just made it into major depression. I ran away from home at 19 or 18. I tried to hitchhike across America. My friends dropped me off on the side of the road. I think it was upstate New York. I made it to Delaware over the course of a few days. I had a bit of an adventure. I ended up at a house party in Philadelphia. They let me sleep in their van that night. I don't remember much else about it. I met an old Asian man tending to his garden in Delaware, and I didn't really know about nutrition back then, so all I brought with me was some beans, I think, and I was trying to cook the beans in a pot or something out in the wilderness, and then I called my parents that saying that I wanted to come home. I was a kid. And then I ended up in a motel room, with sandwiches and cereal. And then I forgot how I got home. A bus or something. I think my parents wired me money, maybe. I don't remember. I was young. And so then, because of that, obviously I didn't go back to school. I got into the workforce. I was delivering pizza. The depression got worse. But what saved me was martial arts. So I found Ray Longo's gym. I was driving a cab. I went from delivering pizza. I think I was also, at some point, I was driving a tow truck. And then I went to driving a cab. And then I ended up driving past Longo's place. And it said Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do kickboxing on it. And Bruce Lee was the reason why I started doing martial arts. So I went in, and then I got back. I got back into some semblance. Does Kung Fu help in your training now? Not so much now, but I think it gave me a good base of power. Learning how to have a root. I still use some of the concepts of rooting and some old school training mentality stuff, like conditioning, but nothing like Muay Thai with Longo. That took the conditioning up another level. The conditioning I do from Kung Fu is like hanging. I'm doing this new thing now. They want you to hang on a bar just like this for 7 minutes. I can't do it all at once, but I hang till I can't go anymore, and I'll come down. Not so much cardio, but I'm glad I started with Kung Fu. We used to watch UFC on tape, and when we did our sparring, there was some shitty ground fighting, but it wasn't like just point fighting. It was like real fighting. Yeah, we did all that. Not my favorite, but I ended up leaving, because of the depression, but I was almost a black belt. I was getting there. Anyway, let me finish this up. I'm going to try to get to bed soon. Logan Paul. I can't zoom out. I don't know what the Roman chair is, Londos. Isn't that the back exercise? Triple H says Logan Paul was a great guest. Imagine what he'll do as a WWE superstar. Congratulations and welcome. Logan Paul just signed with the WWE. Well, he's on juice. And he's a big phony. Oh God. I guess they're marketing to all the kids who are fans of Logan Paul from YouTube. At the end of the day, the WWE is a business, So they're probably hoping to benefit from the exposure of Logan Paul being on their roster. Let's see what Logan Paul's YouTube is like. The tough 2 exercise I did is called the wall sit, and it was based on the horse stance. Mausik.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna talk to
23.5 million subscribers on YouTube. Okay? Now let's compare that to WWE. WWE 89.2 million subscribers. Okay? So WWE is actually bigger. And that's why Logan Paul signed with them. Well, I ain't signing with WWE. They wanted me to do pro wrestling. And I really should practice my promos. Logan Paul! Look at you. I don't have the energy for it, guys. Sorry. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to shower and go to bed. Just some personal updates, though. I spent all my money that I made on construction. I got $300 left. And I don't know what I'm gonna do. It was a big purchase for me, $606. I've given everything I have to Master Luki's League of Champions. This is an interactive website coming out where you're watching live on stream and voting with your thumbs. It's not the full vision that I have for the app. The app is like $10,000, which I don't have. I had $1,000 left from doing construction, and the guy told me it was going to be $860. So I used some of the Chris Voss Black Swan method on him, and I got him to give me a 30% discount. So it was $606. And I got less than $300 left. I'm not complaining. I'm not begging for money. I'm just updating you and describing how desperate I am. I don't even know what's going to happen next. The economy's going to crash. I'm going to be walking from town to town with my suitcase filled with sparring gear and telling people to go onto masterluki.com and challenging the master. I'll walk into your local dojo. I challenge you! Logan Paul! Ken Flo. I don't know. Where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? I'm going to go to out on the island. Do some seminars. And start to troubleshoot this thing. I'm out of magic mushrooms. Took my last dose today. I was crying in the gym bathroom, but I had a decent session. I did get put to sleep though with an arm triangle, but at least I didn't get injured. I trained my ass off. And I feel good about that. There's a saying in the Tao Te Ching. At the end of his life, the master leaves this world just like a worker goes to sleep at the end of a hard day's work. Something like that. You leave this life with an empty glass. Don't save it. You can't take it with you. We got some lemons here. I drank all my apple cider already, but tomorrow I'll make some fizzy. I'm gonna try and get Sir Doyle over. Someone put me to sleep in an arm triangle, Rick. It's another purple belt, Londos. Another purple belt. Arm triangle is a strangle, so it presses on the two arteries in your neck here, and I could still breathe. That's the thing, because it presses over here. So I don't even remember what happened. I just I remember it being tight, and I was trying to get out, and then I woke up on the mat, and I heard the kid say, you know, he was sleeping. I said, oh shit. How long was I out for? He said, oh, less than 10 seconds. I want to see the video though. I'm sick. I thought I was fighting. I thought, you know, I thought I actually got out. It was tight. I was like, I was trying to get out. And I feel like I was dreaming. I feel like I felt like I was dreaming, fighting. And then I just like woke up. Katsugatami, yeah. Katsugatami. Something like that. No finishes, that's right. I didn't tap. I didn't tap, and I came back and I fought him for the rest of the round. You know, it's battle. Nobody gets out alive this life. Will you leave a legacy? I appreciate you guys being here. Seems like, you know, the best time to stream is 10 p.m. So now that I'm fasting, I probably can get away with staying up late or whatever. The defense is called the Shaolin Salute. The defense is called the Shaolin Salute. So the arm is here, and the other arm is here. So it's the shoulder. Yeah, it's one of my favorite moves too, Londos. But you know, the shoulder's here, pressing into this artery, and the guy's arm on this side is squeezing the other artery. So what you got to do is you make a fist with this hand, and you go like this, and you gotta push really hard to open this shoulder up. And the guy's head is pushing here. So you push basically on the part of his head where it connects to the ear. And you make his head go like this. So you push really hard, and then on the way back, you loop your arm over his head. But yeah, he got it on quick, and I didn't have time. And I'll get you next time. All right, guys. Next time. Meeting tomorrow. I'll probably get texts. I think the government wants me to stream every night, so I'll do my best. Go to masterluki.com about page if you want to hit me up off stream.